What's up, Brooks?
What's up, Baron?
How are you today?
I told you off screen, I'm doing absolutely fantastic today. How about yourself?
I'm all right. Happy New Year,
Happy New
even
Year.
though it's
Happy,
January
happy.
7th.
Hey, happy for you, F Doc. Happy Good Luck Charlie Day.
Okay.
Have you ever watched Good Luck Charlie?
I have.
So
I don't
there's
know.
an episode. There's an episode in Good Luck Charlie where I forgot her name, but Bridget Mendler, whatever her name is in the show,
Okay.
she goes to sleep and it's like she's in a dream and in the dream Bob and Amy, the
Hmm.
mom and dad are on the couch, and she goes, "Oh, what is today?" And Bob goes, "Oh, it's January 7th, 2026." And then Amy goes, "Oh, I thought we were still in 2025." So
Okay. Well, yeah. Let's just jump into it.
let's jump right into it.
Welcome to the greatest podcast on earth. Nothing agreed. We have a great show for you tonight, so stay tuned and buckle up.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of Nothing Agreed. Back with the boys today. Baron,
Hmm.
we have been through 18 weeks of NFL. It is over. The NFL regular season over. We are now in what I like to call Eagles time. Playoffs time. Yay, we're in the playoffs,
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. New year. New first recording in 2026. As we were saying in the beginning
Hello,
before
baby.
you gave us a little fun fact for the day.
There you go.
But we got big news for the new year. Do you want to announce it? I'm sure
I
some
don't
people
mind.
might have noticed the difference, but why don't you go and let everyone know what's going on?
We have decided we are going to officially move to a full football podcast. Even with the offseason coming up, I think we're not moving to a full football podcast to where we will never speak about any sport ever. But just for our main topics, we know we are both heavily invested in football. So we're going to move to football mostly. I mean, we'll talk about basketball, baseball here for some conversations, but I know both of our alignments of interest land directly at that. So this will move into a full football podcast. We'll probably do a lot of maybe free agent matchups, mock drafts, talking about stuff, training camps. I mean, remember, it's a long time without football. We might indulge a little bit into college football as well,
Hmm.
but for right now, we're going to go fully into football.
Yeah, so probably at least what I'm thinking when the off season hits. Obviously, we've got playoffs in both sports still happening, and then the respective championship games
Mm-hmm.
and the Pro Bowl if we want to talk about that. But there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the off season, so I think we'll probably once that happens, probably cut down. We'll be back to multiple episodes a week, but it'll probably be a lot shorter, probably like 30 minutes, something for like that. We'll see how busy we are. Maybe even 3 episodes a week. If
Yeah.
that's something we can make happen, then that's something we'll do. But yeah, we're definitely gonna try and do a lot more this year. It's our New Year's resolution for sure. And yeah, we're really excited about it. So yeah, we'll jump right into it. We got a lot of football to talk about today. Like Brooks mentioned, the regular season is over. The playoffs will start on Saturday. But first, I think it's just best to recap the week 18 because everyone, for the most part, knows the matchups. I can go over them real quick. I don't think there's a lot to really. We'll dive into them probably at the end. So I'll go ahead and announce them. But I think what's fun because most teams in the league, their season's over. So New Year. What do people do in the New Year, Brooks?
Drink.
Okay. Besides that,
Celebrate.
okay, they set resolutions, goals, how to
That's a
better
good one.
themselves, right?
I
Yeah,
was thinking
exactly. Oh,
like
okay.
New Year's Eve, the New Year's, yeah.
Yeah, well, they set goals, resolutions to better themselves, right? That's the idea behind it, right? So,
That is
I
true.
think if when we go over these matchups for all the teams that are not in the playoffs, we'll probably give our New Year's resolution for them.
That could be a good, you want to do that now or do you want to do that for another episode?
No, we'll do that now because it's the New Year's
All right,
episode.
let's do it. Let's do it now.
So yeah, I think first we'll start off with the 3 games that actually mattered last weekend, and we'll start with Panthers and Buccaneers. But Panthers needed to win the game. Actually, we'll just go ahead and talk about the whole NFC South because it gets crazy. Panthers played the Buccaneers Saturday. It was the afternoon game, 4:30, and if they won, they moved on. They win the division, go to the playoffs, fine and dandy, right? They did not win. Whether there was assistance from the officials to help the Blues and the Buccaneers win, you can leave that up to you can watch it and think or have your own opinion on what happened. But the results of the game, Buccaneers won by 2, kept their chances alive, and it came down to the Falcons and the Saints. And if the Falcons won, the Panthers went to the playoffs. If the Saints won, the Buccaneers went to the playoffs. I think my favorite thing I saw circulating that game was like the Buccaneers and Panthers are having a Pokemon battle to win the division with the Saints and the Falcons.
I saw one where it was like, it's more of a history one, but it was like the NFC South really having proxy wars to determine who wins the division.
Yeah, this is some unseen shit you probably have never
This
seen
is
in the
why I
NFL.
tell you on the podcast, the NFC South, it's not the best. It's the most fun division in football because you don't know what you're gonna get in and week out.
Nonetheless, the Falcons won, sending the Panthers to the playoffs. First time in 8 years since 2017. First time they've won the division in 10 years since 2015. And yeah, here we are. We'll go ahead and briefly talk about the Buccaneers offseason. What do you think their biggest need or goal should be to get better this offseason?
Well, I think if you asked a Buccaneers fan, they'd probably say their New Year's resolution is to get a new coach.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
That's not going to be the case.
No.
I think their biggest New Year's resolution should probably be something in the front seven. I think they had a pretty good day stopping the run, but I think overall that has been sometimes the weak point of this team as well. If you want to look at offensively, maybe someone with Mike Evans. Right? Maybe you finally need to look at somebody else other than Mike Evans. Get yourself a guy next to Emeka Egbuka and get yourself really that kind of Godwin Evans all over again because Godwin's off the cliff and Evans is going to get off the cliff. So
that's
I
true.
think those are a couple resolutions you can write down.
Yeah, your phone's blowing up, isn't it?
I know. I got GroupMe notifications. So
you're buzzing.
Oh, wait. That's why.
What is it?
104th minute winner from Newcastle, and they beat Leeds.
Oh.
Repping the Arsenal today. Yeah. So it's a soccer. It's soccer. But we're talking about the other football right now. And
right.
We're also going to go for violence. So.
Buccaneers offseason. I would argue I've looked defensively if I'm the Buccaneers. You didn't get a lot of QB pressure this season. You probably would have liked to see a little bit more. I'd look at the edge this offseason. Even the corner, the DBs, you could easily. It's just those guys are getting old. Those guys getting up there in age that you would say are better. Even linebackers. I think it's getting to the point where Levante David's looking at his way out. So yeah, I think you need to really get some young guys defensively in the building. We know you have young guys offensively. Ibuka's great. Bucky White's great. So yeah, I think it's time to start rebuilding on the defensive side. We'll move through the division. Falcons, one of the teams so far that has fired their head coach. Raheem Morris is out, as is the GM. Brooks, this is your team. I'll go first briefly. I think the biggest thing in the offseason the Falcons need to do is really monitor the QB market. There's rumors Joe Burrow might be available. There's rumors Lamar Jackson might be available. With Kirk Cousins' contract getting reworked, I think I saw, getting cut, getting slashed, freeing up a lot of capital for the Atlanta Falcons. I think this is a time where you really need to go after one of these quarterbacks if they become available. That would be my New Year's resolution for them.
As a Falcons fan, I can make a couple New Year's resolutions. I feel like I want to amend my Bucks one. I think it's going to be the same as the Falcons of getting another wide receiver. I think the Falcons, at least biggest thing on defense, if we're talking about New Year's resolutions from last year, they slammed their New Year's resolution, which was get yourself pass rush. They were number 2 in sacks this year. I think they broke the franchise record for sacks in a season, or were really close. So that was my New Year's resolution last year, slammed. This year, it's either going to be in the secondary, someone alongside AJ Terrell, or it's going to be someone alongside Drake London. I think the bigger one is someone alongside Drake London. I don't know if we're going to see Pitts back to this team, so maybe it's get a tight end. I think Algier will probably walk too. But the biggest thing this year was Drake London when he was available, and then who was this number 2? Because Darnell Mooney had horrible games, and then when he was out, Casey Washington was there. But again, that's really it. So you need to get yourself a number 2 guy. Get yourself somebody else that Penix can throw to.
I think
And
Jahan
also
Dotson's a free
land your
agent.
head coach hire. That's the biggest one.
Yeah.
Land your head coach hire.
Obviously. Yeah, I think obviously getting a head coach is on the list for them. But is there anything you'd like to add?
I think the front seven's been pretty good. Linebacker could be a little bit help, but I think if we're talking, I think we're just saying one New Year's resolution. So my biggest one, I think, is going to be land your head coaching hire. Land your head coaching hire. That's what you need to do. You messed up with Raheem Morris because you look at every other guy you interviewed was a slam dunk hire, maybe minus Bill Belichick, but there's still the argument for that. But everyone else was a slam dunk hire. You even had a local kid next to you that probably wanted to go, and you said no to him. You need to land your head coaching hire. We'll see where it is.
I think
Personally, I would not be mad at a Harbaugh, just knowing where this franchise is. But I think Clint Kubiak would be the best option.
I like
right
him
as
a
of
lot.
right now.
I like him a lot. I would even extend that. I think go even one step further. I think you also need to nail the GM if you really want a good cultural change in Atlanta.
Yeah, I don't want to gloss too much on the Atlanta Falcons. We will have time for that. But I think the firing of Terry Fontenot was actually a bad decision.
Okay.
I don't think it was the best. I think his biggest mistake was Kirk Cousins. That was his biggest mistake. We can talk about that all you want. It's a Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix situation. I think is his biggest mistake. But you look at his draft. You look at his draft picks. Kyle Pitts. I think that's not a bad pick. I think but the guys below him are the reason why it's a bad pick. You look at Bijan, right? In that year, we didn't really need Bijan. We needed more of a Jalen Carter.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress. Bijan's probably still the best running back in the league, I will say.
What I was saying is if you guys didn't draft him, I think we were. So
yeah. Well, that was you said Saquon Barkley that year, did you not?
that was the year after. That was the DeAndre Swift year.
So yeah, Bijan would probably been an Eagle, which would have been insane, by the way.
Yeah, it'd be crazy to see what that looks like now, but
true.
Actually, we probably. I mean,
Drake
Jordan Davis is really good, so yeah, we don't really need Jalen Carter.
Exactly. But it's just there's names that we have. I think have actually done pretty good. So I don't think
I would argue. Sorry to cut you off, but I would say probably the biggest factor outside of the quarterback situation is you look at the NFC South during his tenure. I think Tom Brady was there for like 1 year, maybe 2. Mm-hmm. Since his departure, you could even argue that last year that division was wide open for them to win, and they just never did. So I think that's another thing.
I would disagree. I think the last 2 years the division has been like we can go get this. But remember before that, my last point, it was Mariota and Ritter. That's all I gotta say.
I guess that was fair. That's fair.
Yeah, and we were in a heavy rebuild at that time. Rebuild.
This is also year 3 of Kirk Cousins, so I'd say since you've had him, it was your division to go out and win. So,
yeah.
But we'll move on to the Saints quickly. Their New Year's resolution, I believe, is to get offensive help on that side of the ball to help out Shutt and Olave, or however you say it. Defensively, I think they have young guys that they can retool around, even make some trades to get other guys to fit them. I know they have some good draft capital. I think they need to really land another offensive guy to help make this offense run.
Yeah, I think my New Year's resolution would probably be go get yourself someone that is, I'm trying to use the right word here, someone that is beneficial at the running back position. You have Shuck, and I think especially second half Shuck really impressed all of us. Has been playing much better than I thought he would. So you have your guy there. You have Olave, who was with Shuck. It looks like the guy. And just in the South, in the general, that whole region looks like the guy. So you have your wide receiver 1. I don't think your defense was horrid this year, but you really need a running back because of the decline, of course. And then of course you need someone to kind of fill that position. So give me the Saints need someone who is at least playable at the running back position. Oh, it's getting dark and spooky on New Year's.
Yes, it is on the 7th. Anyway, sorry about that. we will move on to the next game that was actually important last weekend. That was the Seahawks and the 49ers. Winner of this game not only wins their division, securing home field advantage, but also getting the 1 seed, so they secure ultimate home field advantage. And the Seahawks took care of business. 49ers team that scored 5 touchdowns last week was held to 0 this week by the Seahawks defense. Offensively, the Seahawks only put up 13 to a 49ers defense, where I think if you ask most people would say is not good.
They've been
So,
getting better, though. They've been getting better, at least, because they'll think of all the injuries they have. So they've been
no, I
getting
know
better.
that's my point though.
Yeah.
It's very injured, very banged up, was not good. Was not an impressive offensive performance from the Seahawks in my opinion, but week 18 doesn't really matter. All right, no, this game did matter. So yeah. But did what matters most, won the football game. Both of these teams are in the playoffs, so there's no need to look at resolutions. And we'll move on to the final game that actually mattered, and that was the Steelers and the Ravens. And that was a good finish for a game. Tyler Loop was harassed endlessly online. John Harbaugh has been fired. That's the fallout of the Ravens' loss. I'm sure everyone watching already knows the outcome of that game. You mean you can't not. And yeah, Steelers are going to host a playoff game against the Texans, and we'll talk about that here at the end of the episode, so no need to get into that now. We're talking about the Ravens and their New Year's resolution for this offseason. Obviously, they are in search of a head coach. My biggest New Year's resolution would probably be to retain Lamar Jackson. Obviously, there's not a lot of he's going to get traded. There's not a lot of buzz around that, but as they say, where there's smoke, there's fire. There's reports that he doesn't like the head or the offensive coordinator. They already fired John Harbaugh because he lost the locker room. So maybe there could be some organizational issues that he's starting to have. So maybe he wants to change the scenery. That's just what it looks like to me from the outside. So to me, that's probably the biggest thing, because if you lose him, then it's time to enter a complete rebuild, in my opinion, because that's about all you have left.
Yeah, wow. My New Year's resolution for the Ravens, personally, if I was running that team, I would actually kind of blow it up. But I don't think that's what the Ravens fans want. I don't think that's what the Ravens front office will do. I don't think that's probably the right decision, because you look at that AFC North, every team is very vulnerable. So maybe it's not time to punch it down and give up. My New Year's resolution, year says keep Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar's going to stay just because he's tied down to his contract. Get a wide receiver. That's your biggest resolution. It's been your resolution for the last 4 years, basically, and you have failed to do that. You need to get yourself a wide receiver that is a big body, right? Someone that's a D-hop, but actually not 30 plus, someone that's actually has the legs to do it, because D-Hop made some very impressive plays for the Ravens in the start of the year, kind of dwindle away. You need someone like that, because you have your Zay Flowers, your little speed guy, someone like that. You need your big body like an AJ Brown out there. Get someone like that, like your Drake Londons, your AJ Browns, someone who's 6'3", 6'4", can get the job done physically. Get a wide receiver like that.
So now we'll move on to the Sunday slate. Obviously, all of these games, not a lot of them really mattered in terms of making the playoffs. Every team played. There was some seeding games, some teams resting starters. So we'll just go through it. Colts, Texans. The Texans were fighting for a seeding positioning. They won by 8 against Riley Leonard, who, let's all be honest, looked actually pretty good as a starting quarterback. So now the question is, where would this Colts team be if he played all those games? Again, I will die on the hill that they would have beaten the Seahawks if he had played instead of Phillip Rivers, but I digress. Colts, what is their New Year's resolution? Obviously, this is probably one of the more disappointing teams. Started 8-2 and lost 7 straight to finish the season.
To me, the Colts defense wasn't that bad this year, but near the end of the year,
they got injured. They did get injured,
hurt, and it just wasn't their best. To me, I think their biggest thing is they need to go get help in the secondary. and just that pass defense in general needs to be fixed. So I expect them to maybe go get a safety or someone else on the other side of Sauce Gardner for 2026-27.
Okay, yeah, I would actually another little disagreement, but I would say offensively. Granted, Riley Leonard looked good. That's still a guy who's young. You look at your other quarterback. If you want to have a little quarterback thing with Daniel Jones, who let's be honest looked pretty good, but we know his history is Daniel Jones. So I would say you look at Michael Pittman, who kind of had a down year. You look at Tyler Warren, who looks really good. Jonathan Taylor's Jonathan Taylor. I just don't love who is in that wide receiver room. Josh Downs has flashes where he can be good, but he's probably best at a wide receiver 3 slot role. I think you need just a guy that's always there to help maybe Tyler Warren on the outside while he plays on the inside and can maybe help Michael Pittman still be productive on the end of his career if he doesn't have to be the workhorse on the receiver side. So I would monitor the wide receiver market this offseason if I'm the Colts, possibly even look at the draft and just help everyone out on offense because, again, I do think despite how their defense played, I think injuries was a big part of that fall off at the end of the season. I think that's why they went out and got a guy like Sauce Gardner, was to improve that midseason. But Texans made the playoffs. We won't talk about them yet. Let's move on to the Cowboys and Giants. We'll do these briefly. Giants defeated the Cowboys 34-17. The Cowboys played their starters for a while, or some of them, and then pulled them afterwards. Cowboys, what is their New Year's resolution?
It's gonna be. Oh, they have really good pass rush, but their run defense is not good. I don't think, if I'm not mistaken. I think their run defense is actually one of the worst in the league.
It's pretty funny considering they traded Michael Parsons to improve their run defense.
We're talking about the Cowboys or the Giants?
Cowboys.
Oh, I thought you said the Giants.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm talking about the Cowboys.
Oh, no. Cowboys is easy. Cowboys is you need to get yourself secondary. That's it. That's your New Year's resolution. Get rid of Trayvon Diggs. You are the worst pass.
They already got rid of him. They already
already got rid of Trayvon Diggs. You need to go get yourself a new secondary because you are the worst pass defense in the league. That one's easy. That one's simple to me. I don't really need to ponder that. Your offense was maybe the best in the league, some say. But your pass defense was the worst in the league, and that's not a debate. They need to get secondary.
Well, they also want to keep George Pickens, so we'll see how they end up money-wise, but
fair.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Yeah, but I would agree. Probably fix the secondary. Anything on defense, really. Giants, New Year's resolution. You said you'd try to fix the run defense.
I think the run defense was one of the worst in the league. You have a good pass rush, but your front seven needs to be better. So you might want to look at the linebackers who can maybe stuff up some holes and stop the run.
Some good ones. I'd argue you need to get offensive line. You have a guy in Jackson Dart who looks like he's going to be really good. Pair that with a guy in Scadaboo who looks like he can be a really good workhorse for you. I think you need to
Neighbors as well.
Yeah, so if you give Jackson Dart time to throw to Neighbors, or you give him a line that can give Scadaboo some good holes, that's an offense that could be very competitive very quickly for a while because they're all very young. So I think maybe you take the chance that your young defensive guys can maybe develop to be better run defenders and take the chance on improving this young offense right now because they could be good for a long time. Oh, excuse me. Starting to lose my voice. All right, we'll move on to Browns-Bengals, two more teams that will not be in the playoffs this season. Browns fired their head coach, one of the other teams to do so. Bengals did not, surprisingly. Let's talk about the game, though. Browns won by 2. Shedeur Sanders got another win under his belt. I think it was, a 3-game winning streak to end the season for the Browns? Something like that?
I think Shedeur won 3 out of 4 of his actual starts.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think they already announced he'll be the starter next season.
Maybe no, Deshaun Watson's coming back.
No, they didn't. I'm thinking of something else. Sorry.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Browns, New Year's resolution. What is it?
I'm going to say it's receiver as well. I want to say O-line as one of them, but I think your biggest need is someone that Shedeur can actually throw to. Remember, your running back class was good out of the draft.
Their draft class overall was just very good.
Yeah, very good. You got Schlesinger is going to be the rookie of the year. You still have Myles Garrett, Mason Graham to plug up the holes. You have 2 first-round picks this year as well. I think you need to go out and get someone Carnell Tate is a name you can look at. Zachariah Branch, two wide receivers right there. One kind of in that top 10 category and one that's in that late first round category. I think you maybe need to get one of those two guys, but if you don't, free agency, you need a wide receiver. Someone that Shedeur can throw to, a true one.
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at anything else, I probably would say offensive line. Just get some more help for the guys in the backfield. Bengals. Oh boy. I think this is, again, we'll have lots of time to talk about this in the offseason, but to me, this is going to be the messiest offseason for any team, really. Yeah.
Your New Year's resolution should be get rid of Zach Taylor, but that's not happening.
I think your New Year's resolution is to get as many draft picks and young assets that you can from what eventually is coming.
3 words: blow it up.
Yeah, I don't see how this regime will continue. I don't see.
You need your New Year's resolution, if you really want to be like straight up like, hey, don't blow it up. Your new resolution is to get an entire new 11 on defense.
And then get a new 5 to protect your quarterback and maybe a better running back to take the advantage off the passing game.
I think Chase Brown, especially at the end of the year, was a really good running back.
That's fair.
So I don't think out of all of them, I mean, that's the one you need to look at.
Fair enough, but we'll move on. Commanders, Eagles. The Commanders defeated the Eagles by 7 in a game where the Eagles rested their starters. Do we want to talk about that?
I mean, for New Year's resolution, we don't really talk about the game because Tanner McKee sucks.
Well, do we want to talk about the fact that the Eagles rested their starters during a game where it wasn't very meaningless?
Yeah, well, you can tell me all about it because they sold the over 11.5 team total wins on the season, which cost me $50. But we can talk about that.
Boo-hoo.
Yeah, they should have played their starters because especially the Lions. I think they should have put them in at halftime. You should go back to the locker room and be like, the Lions are up 13-0.
Yeah,
right?
I can't believe that. I cannot believe the bench came out at halftime.
Yeah, and now, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, I would rather play the Packers than I'd play the 49ers.
Absolutely. Doesn't mean that I don't like where we're standing.
Still, we'll get to that.
Right, we'll talk about that. But yeah.
Commanders.
Yeah. What is their New Year's resolution?
I think we agree here as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't think so?
Well, what is it?
Well, I think this is the oldest team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
This is a team that just won 5 games? Is that their 4th or 5th win this year?
5. They won 5.
5 games. It is time to turn to the youth. It is time to have Jaden Daniels. It sucks, I know, but I think you need to give it a year off. I think you do. I think you just need to trade some people. You need to get some draft picks. You need to make this team a little younger.
I mean, I'd argue I consider trading him. If you can get a good, maybe not this year, but I mean, think about it. Their defense, there's no one on that side of the ball that's, besides maybe like Mikey Sanders still, that's like younger than 23. That's actually good. It's just not this doesn't look like a team that Jaden Daniels is like. This is the way I think of it, right? If he stays, and I think he would want to stay. I'm not saying that there's nothing against staying, but I think if he stays, this isn't a team that's going to be competitive for probably at least 4 seasons. Just the way it's constructed as of right now. At that point, the way he plays football, he might be on his way out of the league. Just how mobility wears down, and if you can't translate to a more pocket passer once that mobility starts to wear down on you, you're not as good. So I don't know. If I were Jaden Daniels, I would take a look, and again, this is a very personal decision, but I would take a look at what's going on the team around me, take a look at the league where there's teams like the Vikings, the Falcons,
there you go, baby.
I'm trying to think of even another one. Possibly even the Colts. a team that just really needs a quarterback before they're a competitive team. So yeah.
Colts won't be that.
But yeah, if we're talking about the Commanders specifically, I would argue offensive line. Let's keep Jane Daniels healthy, because yeah, let's start there. I think we can take a year off defense. Just be bad. I mean, we're taking a few years off for the Commanders because we got to rebuild from the ground up. And this GM needs to be on their shit and hit with almost every pick if they want to stay competitive. But we'll see. I apologize. I missed some 1 o'clock games. I'm kind of all over the place. But we'll go to Packers Vikings. So the Packers are screwed if Jordan Love goes down in the playoffs, because Malik Willis is still injured, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Because that offense looks abysmal without him. Vikings defeated the Packers 16-3. Max Brosmer gets his first win. There you go, hometown kid.
The Bros goat.
Yep. The Packers, unfortunately, are going to be moving on to the playoffs. The Vikings are not. So what is their New Year's resolution, Brooks?
Vikings ended the year with a winning record.
It's more
The
than the AFC
Vikings'
South
New Year's
or NFC
resolution.
South.
The Vikings' New Year's resolution. No, it should not be anything with JJ McCarthy. It should not be. Vikings' New Year's resolution is they need some legs on the ground.
Running back.
They don't. The Aaron Jones, he's washed. I'm sorry. It's not no offense to Aaron Jones.
No, yeah,
What a
he's
great
absolutely-
career. What a great
absolutely
career.
he's
But
washed.
it's unfortunately Father Time is undefeated except for against one man, LeBron James. And now Jordan Mason is just not the guy to cut it out. You need a running back.
Nope. Yeah, I'd say the same. But if there is a Joe Burrow sweepstakes, you absolutely put your name in the running, because you don't pass
You know what you
that
need
up.
to do? You know what you need to do?
Hmm.
You need to. When's the last time Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson played on a team in purple?
I don't think they can afford all that now. But yeah, keep our eye on the Vikings. Titans Jaguars. Whew. The Jaguars were playing for seeding, so they played their starters for most of the game. The score reflects that. It was 41-7. Hottest team going into the playoffs. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Playing for a title as well.
Yeah. Titans. What is their New Year's resolution?
Well, the New Year's resolution to me is you have your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Your running back situation is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Your wide receiver is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But my biggest New Year's resolution is get a coach that Cam Ward likes. That's my biggest New Year's resolution. You fired Callahan week 3 or 4, and you've rocked it out this season. Get a coach that Cam Ward likes that's not named Raheem Morris, and get someone that can do you something. You just need to get a coach that Cam Ward likes. Cam Ward is your guy. Again, we're going with one New Year's resolution. That's my New Year's resolution for the Titans.
I think you need to nail, and I know this is very broad, but I think you need to nail this year's draft. Because if you don't, I feel like you're just you're setting Cam Ward up for failure, and then you'll eventually cut him in 2 more years, and then you'll just be back to square one. So I think like Bruce said, I think you've got your guy. He's shown that he has what it takes to be very good. I think now you need to give him the tools to be good, so you cannot fuck this draft up. So we'll move on now to the afternoon slate. Rams played the Cardinals. Rams are playing for seeding. They beat the Cardinals 37-20. Cardinals are not going to the playoffs. They also have fired their head coach, Jonathan Gannon. Brooks, what is their New Year's resolution?
This actually, I need to look something up.
Oh boy.
This one,
Mm-hmm.
I need to look at. Here
Oh.
we go.
Here we go. Okay.
Number 1 ranked. All right, perfect. Ooh, but I don't think you want to get that guy. Oh, duh. Your New Year's resolution is to get the number 1 overall pick in the 2027 NFL draft. That is your New Year's resolution. Why do I say that, Brooks? Well, look at a team that's in year 3 of your rebuild. You got worse. You got worse in these 2 years. You're in rebuild. You got worse this year. What? Like, it makes no sense. This team sucks. You have to get somehow your New Year's resolution. There can be a couple things. You got to get rid of Kyler Murray's contract one way or another. You're either eating cap, you're eating some of the cap, and you're trading them. You just need to get off that contract somehow. You need to get rid of Buda Baker. You need to get rid of any value you have on your team whatsoever for any draft capital. You need to get the number 1 pick next year. Jeremiah Smith is number 1 prospect. A guy you can make an argument is generational. Now, you took Ohio State wide receiver last time. We can talk about how much that's worked and how much that hasn't worked. But, of course, QB will be your number 1. So maybe this draft.
They're taking a sleeper this draft.
You don't get a QB this draft. What you do is you have a high-value pick. You try to do exactly what the Cleveland Browns did this draft.
Oh, good God.
You trade back, see if you can land that first-round pick next year while landing a first-round pick in either this year's draft or just completely cut out on this draft and only get your second and third and land 2 first-round picks for the next couple of years, kind of like the Sauce Gardner trade. You just need to forget this year happened and act like you're a new franchise in the NFL and hit ground zero. That's your resolution. It sucks to say, but you need to get a long-term head coach. You need to get a long-term plan.
Yeah. This is where I would want to see John Harbaugh go if I could pick.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Because I think he's kind of one of those guys that I think you bring in the building can really help turn a franchise around. And again, I know that what happened with the Ravens at this point in the season, it just kind of sucks. How much of him to blame is there? We don't really know. We're not in the building. Is he a great play caller? Maybe. He's won a Super Bowl, so he's got to be kind of good, right? But I think where his talent really is just building teams, getting the right people in the building. I mean, that's why he was so successful with the Ravens for so long, I think. I don't think you can't be good at that if not doing that well. So I think that'd be a good guy for the Cardinals to kind of bring in. I think he would really help them on this rebuild because, I think their New Year's resolution is it's time. It's over. We need to start all new. I would trade Trey McBride this offseason while he has a ton of value. Top tight end in the league, so I would absolutely trade him. But it's time to look to the future. I agree with everything you said as well. Chargers Broncos. This game really didn't matter except for seeding. Both teams going to the playoffs. We won't talk about them. So we'll talk about the other 2 teams in the division. Chiefs Raiders. Raiders won by 2. Congratulations, they beat the Chiefs. What is the Chiefs' New Year's resolution, Brooks?
Wow.
We've been kind of talking about this one all season, I feel like, because the mighty Chiefs have fallen. What can they do to get better? That's just a hot topic.
Same as the Vikings. Get a running back. You need a running back. You have Mahomes. Receiver, I can see where people say it, but again, you got Rashee Rice. You've got Xavier Worthy. Tight ends, another one you can look at. Travis Kelce might retire. I still think for the expectations people had Travis Kelce this year, I think he actually played better than what some people thought. But again, Baron, what we see this year? We saw Father Time this year, didn't we? We saw Father Time make some plays. I think it's time. You need to get a running back. You need to get yourself a running back that's pretty good. So get yourself a running back. I don't think the defense was horrible. The offense really struggled because they didn't have a good solidified runner.
That's true.
They brought back Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, that's fair.
Get yourself a running back.
I would look at some pass rush too. Raiders, what's their resolution?
Quarterback. Is there any other resolution?
Let's
the number 1 pick in the draft.
Let's get Pete Carroll fired. One of the other coaches that got fired. Sorry, I forgot a coach.
Thank you. I saw someone reach out to me today. I saw a tweet as well.
Ooh, okay.
And saying John Harbaugh to the Raiders, I think would be an absolutely horrific place for both parties. I think John Harbaugh right now remember he coached 18 years in the league so far. When you've coached that long, there's at some point where I don't want to really work with a rebuild because I'm getting to the point where I might retire soon. You want to get into the best situation possible. Mm-hmm. Why I think the Falcons might be an option for John Harbaugh. I think the Raiders need to do what the Cardinals do. AFC West, NFC West, I think you need to take your pieces that you have that are good, maybe keep them. Cardinals maybe a little bit different. Maybe you just shut down. But you have Brock Bowers, you have Genty. You need to rock with those 2 guys. You need to trade Crosby.
Absolutely.
The biggest thing is quarterback.
Yeah. Obviously, they have the number 1 pick. It'll probably be Fernando Mendoza. Oh, they're getting a full preview this weekend for who they want to draft. It'll probably be Mendoza or more. So, yeah, that's probably right. You got to nail the quarterback and the head coach this offseason. So, moving on, Dolphins Patriots. Patriots won 38-10. Dolphins, New Year's resolution. It's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm genuinely like baffled of what I think they should do, because remember, you kind of ended the year pretty well, but I think for everyone involved, I think it's over.
I mean, the only thing I can think of,
It's over.
if you can retain your offensive
It's over.
pieces, is you immediately replace Tua. I know there's some speculation that they get Lamar Jackson. I think if that happens, things get interesting. Again, we'll see. But I think defensively, you need to rebuild what you have lost.
I think it's over. I mean, I have a horrible philosophy when it comes to how I would GM teams. I'm either in, I have the possibility of making a divisional and I get lucky with a conference run, right? Or I'm in rebuild mode. It's either I think I can win it or I think I need to improve. The Dolphins are in the middle ground right now because they are not one of the worst teams in the league, but my God, they are nowhere near winning it. I think you need to get rid of your pieces. Tyreek Hill needs to go. I think Jalen Waddle should have been accepted for that first round pick from the Bills. Maybe you don't want to give him to a division rival. You need to let him go. I think you need to let go of Tua. That's true. Devon A-Chain may have some value. We'll see how much they want to keep him compared to trading him. But I think this is the point where the Dolphins should go back to 2020. They should go back to 2020, 2019, when people were tanking for Tua. They go back to that.
Yeah, well,
And
that tank didn't really pan out. So
they failed their tank for Tua because technically, right? They were supposed to be the number one team that year, not the Cincinnati Bengals. They were supposed to be the number one team. And they played in the toilet bowl against the Bengals, and they beat them in Miami. And that's what gave them the fifth pick. They lose that game. I think they're up to 2 or they're 1, and then they get Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
And we know Joe Burrow. Let's not beat around the bush here. We know Joe Burrow's better than Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Maybe
So
Joe Burrow. Maybe Joe Burrow finds his way to Miami this offseason.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
But we'll move on because Patriots are going to the playoffs. Lions Bears. In the shock of the week, the Bears played their starters in hopes to win and keep their 2 seed. They did anyway, but they were defeated by the Lions, who swept them this year. Sorry, Bears going to the playoffs. What is the Lions' New Year's resolution?
Defense. I mean,
Yeah, we need to rebuild. No, actually,
I can pick a slot other than
I have one. Yeah, but I have. If you want to look non-defensively, I'll give you a shout. I think this might be the year we need to start looking at Jared Goff's replacement. That stretch, basically at the middle of the season, I think is a big reason they fell out of the playoffs. Because obviously the defense wasn't great, but when the offense was not playing great either during that stretch, and I think a lot of that fell on Jared Goff. I think if teams started to realize if you pressured him or gave him some looks that he wasn't very comfortable with, he would crumble. So yeah, he's up there in age. We know he's been in the league almost 10 years now. So yeah, I think it's probably time to start looking at another quarterback. So yeah, I would also, if I'm the Lions, I'm quietly monitoring this offseason's quarterback market.
You know what? I'll expand that a little bit. I think this would be the most fun team Lamar could go to.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it'd be the most fun team.
They'd be Super Bowl they'd probably. I don't think they'd be able to get out without having to give up like Jameson Williams, but yeah, no, you're right.
But their New Year's resolution, if we're talking New Year's resolution, is like, hey, I really need to improve this. It's that defense. It might be that secondary too, a little bit.
I think that does need to be addressed before Goff. But I'm looking at next year's draft. I'm looking at next year's draft, and I'm saying to myself, yeah, if we don't get a great start to the season and Jared Goff doesn't look good, we might need to tank for a quarterback. But yeah, that's probably mine. And last, but certainly not least, the team that did not record a single interception this entire season, an NFL record, by the way, in a game where they lost 8-35 to the Buffalo Bills. Our final New Year's resolution for this year, before the playoffs are over, Brooks, New York Jets. Mine's pretty easy.
I mean, they got 0 interceptions.
Let's find a new owner, and a new place to play football. You're living under you're living under the Giants' shadow. Let's get out of New York. Let's play football somewhere else.
Yeah, that's
Let's
not possible.
I
So
know.
let's think of a realistic one. Yeah, you got rid of Sauce Gardner. You need a new corner. You got 2 first-round picks out of it.
They do have a lot of draft capital lined up for these next couple of drafts. So
yeah,
nail it, I guess. Get these draft picks right.
Arch Manning. Oh, we'll come back to this. Actually, I'll write this down in my reminders for 2027.
All right,
I'll see Arch Manning in New York.
All right, we'll see him there. Alrighty. Before we move on to playoffs, obviously we talked about some coaches being fired. Do you see any fired coaches landing jobs or any landing new jobs places?
Yes.
New beginnings, as you could say. Let's hear them.
Yeah, I think Kevin Stefanski will definitely land a new job. John Harbaugh will land a new job. We look at all the openings right now. I don't think Gannon will land a job. Raheem Morris is getting interviews.
Yeah, it's weird.
So we'll see if he lands a job.
I bet Gannon goes back to being a DC.
Yeah, I think Gannon will go back. I think Gannon is going to be like a Robert Saleh.
Yeah, probably.
He's going to go back to being a DC, and people are going to be like, "You're really good at that." I think that's what's going to happen.
I think Pete Carroll's going to retire. I think he's
Pete Carroll should not get a job.
Yeah, I think he's done football.
But I think John Harbaugh is currently the favorite to go to the Giants. I'm going to say Kevin Stefanski lands in New York.
And while we are on the topic, any playoff hot seats?
Tomlin.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, I don't think anyone's really expecting them to win though. Like that's the thing.
Here's my playoff. If you want me to get my true playoff hot seats, here's my playoff hot seats. It's very simple.
I got one for you.
It's hard to get a hot seat. It's Sean McDermott. That is the layup of a hot seat, right?
Oh no, I got a bigger layup.
No, it's not Nick Sirianni.
I'm not saying Nick Sirianni.
Okay, go on, son. Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur.
I think
if they lose in the first round, I think he's gonna get fired.
If he gets fired, that's my coach for Atlanta.
All right, there you go.
That's my coach for Atlanta. Remember, he comes from Atlanta.
Yeah. Again, I do think there's a reason. Again, there's always a reason why people wait until after the playoffs. But I mean, the Packers, they came out and said this at the beginning of the season. Maybe he gets some grace because of the Micah Parsons injury, but they came out and said his job is tied to playoff success. They once again, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this now: the Packers are the Atlanta Hawks of the NFL. All right, because stay with me now. Ever since the playoffs were expanded to the 7th seeding, right? The Packers have always made it at the NFC conference every single time. Just like how since the NBA introduced the play-in tournament, the Falcons have always been in it every single time. Yeah, the Hawks, yeah. Now, they're not the Bulls because the Bulls don't make it out of the play-in tournament. They have maybe like one time, but we don't really count that. And they're not they're not the Heat because the Heat went to the finals. The Packers have never made it out of the second round since the 7th seed was introduced. So that's my analogy. So yeah, that's just they're just kind of. I feel like that's my point. If the 7th seed didn't exist these last 3 years, this is a team that has made the playoffs since the Aaron Rodgers days. These conversations around this entire team would be very, very different, right? If you didn't make a playoffs in 3 years with the roster you have. So if you lose to the Bears, another divisional game, I just can't see how you hold on to him after that.
I'm gonna say that I think he is gonna get fired. Because there was already heavy rumblings of that actually during the season.
Yeah.
And I actually had a source, which then went to 680, which is the local Atlanta station. That was like Matt LaFleur, Atlanta, watch. And I was like, okay. So I think that might be the Atlanta option.
So, first game, right? Panthers, Rams, and Charlotte.
4:30. You remember the
Yeah.
Panthers won this game 31-28 last time these two teams played this season.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's hard to beat the same team twice, Baron, if
Exactly.
we want to go by that old adage.
Exactly.
And I think this Rams team, although they're on a little bit of a skid, a win is good.
Yeah.
And also, I just don't think the Panthers are playoff ready. And I
They're
think
not.
that is a very big thing. Being playoff
But
ready, having the experience. This is Sean McVay. This is Matt Stafford coming into town against Bryce Young and Dave Canales. Give me the Los Angeles Rams.
yeah, but these are the games, Brooks, that the Panthers have been winning this year. Underdogs at home. No one believes in them. But like you said, it is very hard to beat the same team twice. I think this Rams team will come in with a much different attitude than the previous matchup. I'm going to take the Rams. It was a fun season, Panthers. We'll talk about your New Year's resolutions probably next episode. But now we got it. Packers Bears in Chicago. Bears fans have been waiting a long time for this one, Brooks. I think it is going to be very hard to see any sort of cheeseheads out there on Saturday night.
Baron, why did they give this game to Al Michaels? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I mean,
This should not be an Al Michaels game. I don't care what you say. Al Michaels should not be on this game. I think it's time for him to retire. I'm a play-by-play guy if anybody's looking for one.
all right.
Give
Well,
me the Chicago Bears. They've been waiting for it for a long time,
Yeah.
and the longer you wait, the better it is, Baron. And the sweet taste of victory is going to be so great when they knock off their division rival at home, which they did so last time off a miracle. They lost in Green Bay. They should be 0-2 against this team.
yeah,
But they're going to pull off two miracles. They're going to win the playoff game at home. Also,
Yes.
I think this game is a 1-point spread.
1.5. Yeah,
Did it
So-
go up to 1.5
yeah, it's 1.5 right now.
in the favor of Chicago?
Yeah. No, actually, no. It's still Green Bay.
Green
1.5
Bay
favorite.
minus 1.5?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is actually very surprising. There must have been an injury for the Bears or something. But or maybe, I mean, this Bears defense has been on a skid. They've played very well, led the league in interceptions. I think turnovers as a whole, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, they've been on a skid. We saw what they led up to the 49ers. They played fine, but led up 19 to the Lions last week in a game they needed to win. Well, not really, but kind of. Unfortunately, I just don't think this Packers offense is all that right now. And when you look at the other side of the ball, they're banged up defensively. There's no Micah Parsons. I don't know. Like you said, if you're a Packers fan, this is the team you want to play in the playoffs. I don't know. I kind of have a feeling. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Bears. They're the better team. Ben Johnson knows how the Packers work. I'm a trust in him. And I like what they have going on better. I think this is going to be a very run-heavy game for the Bears. But, yeah.
All right.
We'll move on. First game on Sunday. Oh wait, no, it's not the first game. Oh, it is. Sorry,
the
Bills
first
Jaguars. Not on my list, but Bills Jaguars.
Baron, this is Josh Allen. This is the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Buffalo Bills, the experienced Bills. No more Mahomes and Lamar against first-year Liam Cohen. Duval leads himself into a home game, 3 versus 6 seed.
Yep.
All the hype building in Jacksonville.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. and I'm going to take them to win. Give
Yep.
me the Jacksonville
Come
Jaguars
on.
to knock off the Buffalo Bills.
Yes,
Once again, the
sir.
Bills' narrative stays the same, and Liam Cohen, after everyone mocks him, makes fun of him for the hire, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, they need a win in their careers. Finally, can the Clemson boys do it? They get it done, Baron. In Jacksonville, the place will be rocking before they have to go under construction.
Look,
Remember, the Bills talking about their stadium. Jags need some construction in their stadium, so this might be a last home game for them for a couple of years. So give me the Jacksonville Jaguars, baby.
look. We know Jacksonville is a tough playoff environment, Brooks. It leads even the biggest of leads to fall. Look, this Bills team, I've been saying it all year, they're not that good. These are not the Josh Allen-led Bills teams of the past. There are offensive flaws. This defense is filled with holes. And yeah, they're playing on the road. That's been one of their Achilles heel this entire season. They kill it at home, but look at some of their road losses. Falcons lost to them. Who else? Why am I blanking? They lost to
They beat up on I remember they beat up the Carolina Panthers.
No, who did they lose to on the road?
They've
It was
lost some
bad.
bad quarterbacks.
I'm pulling it up. Hold on. But yeah, ultimately
they're 5-3 on the road. They beat the
true.
Jets on the road.
No, they lost Falcons on the road, Dolphins on the road. That was it, I think. But yeah, but Texans is in a terrible. Texans was a bad win then, but it's not as bad now. So I guess you can give that to them.
Well, Texans on the road. That's just true.
But yeah, they had that scare against the Bengals. Yeah, I'm just saying
that Texans loss. Remember that Texans loss was a Davis Mills Texans team.
Okay, yeah.
Remember that game?
Yeah, but but their defense was on fire. Yeah, but still, my point being, yeah, I just don't think this Bills team's gonna get it done. I think Jacksonville, I think they're the hottest team in the NFL right now, actually, if you ask me. And that's certainly someone you don't want to play in the playoffs. So, yeah, I think this is going to be an AFC South win for the Jaguars. Or not win, but we'll move on to the next game, the afternoon game, and that is the Eagles 49ers in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm.
Should I let the Eagles fan go first or second? It's your choice.
I mean, this is a game the Eagles should win. Like I said earlier, this is a 49ers defense they're injured. They're not good. And we know this Eagles defense or this Eagles offense struggles, but I mean, they've been able to figure it out for at least some of the halves. So maybe, just maybe, they can put it together. And again, this is kind of a defense. Again, if they're a bad defense, so it might work. I just look at the other side of the ball. Brock Purdy threw for 5 touchdowns 2 weeks ago against the Bears defense. I think that kind of said a lot more about the Bears defense maybe than Brock Purdy and his offense, because when they played a good defense, they scored 3 points. This Eagles defense is a very good defense. I'd put it up there with probably Seattle and Texas, Houston Texans. So, yeah, I think it's going to be hard for Brock Purdy. We all know, or anyone that follows the Eagles know, how hard it is to play at Lincoln Financial in a playoff atmosphere. And, yeah, I just don't think this is a game the Eagles should lose. I'm sure they'll find a way to do so, and it'll make me very angry, and next episode won't be fun, but here's to a good game. Let's go. And the only good thing that can come out of a loss is that we will finally be free of Kevin Patullo.
Baron, what's one thing I've kept very consistent about this Eagles team? You remember you brought up Kevin Patullo. What's one thing I've always kept consistent about the Eagles?
I don't really know.
I've said it every single time the Eagles play almost. It's in Lincoln Financial Field. I bring it up every time that the Link is probably the hardest place to play in the NFL. Okay, I will stand by that.
Especially if Arrowhead gets demolished.
It could be V. And I think this holds up true. The only thing that scares me is Kyle Shanahan is a serial wild card and divisional playoff winner sometimes. I mean, he really loves getting to those big games and then choking them away. But this is the Eagles in the Link. It's going to be loud. It's going to be rowdy. Give me the Eagles to win this one. Saquon Barkley has himself a pretty good game, and he's going to get the job done. I think it's going to be
Oh,
on the legs of Saquon. You look a little surprised. I know this has been a rough year for that offensive line, Saquon.
well, he's about to get
But
less carries.
give me Saquon
Okay,
Barkley to
fair
have a big
enough.
game,
Yeah,
or to have the big moment.
there you go. Yeah, his carries are going down. But yeah, again, this is a game the Eagles should win. Now, Sunday night game. Honestly, this is kind of the worst one in my opinion. Besides Rams Panthers, obviously that should be a slacking. Patriots Chargers. Now,
Aaron,
this is a Patriots team, very good in the regular season. 32nd strength of schedule. How much of a factor does that play into their record and their stats? Probably a good amount. And everyone is of the general consensus that this is going to be an embarrassing playoff for them. I don't think it's going to be this round. Yeah, I think they beat the Chargers. Anything you want to say on that?
I'm going to go with my boldest prediction of the playoffs
Oh,
so far.
good
The
God.
wild card round.
Good God. All right.
The Chargers win this game by double digits.
Ooh, okay.
I said it.
I could see that, low key. I could see that.
4-point underdogs coming into New England. But Baron, first of all, let's just play the numbers game real quick. I'll play the numbers game. Okay, I will acknowledge Justin Herbert in playoff games. Yeah, he's had his moments. He's had his moments.
Moments. I remember one moment in particular. He
He
had a
sucked
30
against the
he had a
Texans.
he had a 30-point lead
He had a
in Jacksonville.
27-point lead in Jacksonville
Then he had 4 interceptions?
against the Texans.
Yeah. Oof. I wouldn't want him as my
Yeah.
quarterback.
Tough one, right? Tough
Yeah.
one. But I like this Chargers team a little more experience now in the playoffs, right? You know how much I love that. Baron, let's play the numbers game a little bit. I was going to say, New England Patriots, how many losses did they have this year?
3.
How many of those were on the road?
All of them, I think.
None of them.
Oh, none of them.
Every loss they had was at home. They didn't lose a game on the road. They lost 3 games in Foxborough. Let me say this as well. Playoff experience. Drake May, sophomore year quarterback, right? You have a team that has Vrabel leading the line. Yeah, we can talk about that. But you look at the guys on the depth chart. How many of them are ready to play playoff football? But more importantly, how much is your leader ready to play playoff football? Because I think that playoff edge that Vrabel gives you, who's the coach on the other side? National champion, Super Bowl winner.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I don't think. No, Jim Harbaugh is a maybe player, Super Bowl winner.
Yeah, he's
But
the player.
Super Bowl winner is a player.
Yeah.
National champion coach, lots of playoff experience. Jim Harbaugh. This team has a decent run game, can get it done in the pass, but the defense is pretty solid this year.
Yes.
Give me the Chargers that go out New England and they win this one by 10 plus. That's my bold prediction.
All right.
I
mean, I
think
don't
it will fall flat on its face, but I think we need to up it a little bit, and I'm going to put my art on the line.
All right. I don't hate that. I mean, yeah, pretty good reasoning why the Chargers would win, be a good run game, and their defense is easily one of the better ones the Patriots will have seen all season. And what is this? Justin Herbert is definitely going to have to break his playoff stigma if this is going to go anywhere. But that offensive line scares me. At some point, it's going to give in. We've been saying it. Look what Denver did last week. If this Patriots defense can kind of get it together up front, it's not going to be great for the Chargers offensively in the pass game. But I mean, if they can give Justin Herbert some time and he doesn't want to suck it up, then yeah, they can easily win this game. But yeah, I don't really know. I'm gonna take the Patriots. I think they at least get one win. I think that's probably where this team's ceiling is, at least for me in my eyes. So yeah, I think that's where it'll be. So we'll move on. Last game, Steelers-Texans in Pittsburgh. I mean, you got it. I got the Texans.
Just something with Tomlin and Rodgers juju makes me feel so weird about this game. Like, makes me so scared about this game. I'm taking the Texans,
Okay.
but the Texans are playing in a cold weather environment.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing a team that has this year, in my opinion, this year's devil magic is that's definitely going to be the Steelers. I mean, they have the most devil magic. Also, 6-3 at home this year. Very solid home team this year. I'm gonna take the Texans, but this is the one
I was
game
gonna
where
say, who are their 3 home losses?
their 3 home losses. Let me see if I can just nail these off the top of my head. They lost to the Seahawks in week 2.
Buffalo. It's like week 8.
Buffalo. That was like week 4. No, that was like week 13 or week 12.
13. Yeah, you're right. That
Yeah.
sounds right.
And then they lost to the Packers.
Yeah. All 3 are playoff teams.
Playoff teams. But they're playing a playoff team.
That's my point. So yeah. We'll see what happens.
Ooh, give me the Texans. Give me the
yeah,
Texans.
I'm
Give me the
taking
Texans.
the Texans. All right. That's it for this episode.
We did it.
Obviously we're not doing dog of the day into the playoffs. Do we want to go over those results? We didn't really get a chance to do that since last episode.
We didn't get to do a week 18 dog of the day.
I know.
All
you
I'll
wanna
say.
You want to go and bark for us?
Oh.
Oh, so sad.
It's a sad dog. All I'll say is that Baron had more than me. That's all I'll say.
3-peat.
Yeah, that's all I'll say. I wouldn't have won a week 18 as well because I needed to pick a bigger dog of the day. I actually liked the Raiders to beat the Chiefs. That was gonna be my dog of the day, but it wouldn't have mattered because there wouldn't have been enough points. So I needed a big upset from one of the bigger spreads, and it didn't happen. So, yeah.
So you guys can leave comments on what you think Brooks' punishment should be. We don't decide one, then you guys will see him probably in a Tyler Shot jersey going into next season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be good. Awesome. All right. Is there anything you'd like to add?
I hate the Saints.
All right. Well, I mean, you usually close it out. I don't really know what to do here.
Baron, you can close it out. You know,
I don't like it.
Saying to close now?
I don't like it. It's scary.
That'll be another episode. Nothing agreed. Thank you all so much for listening. Let us know who are your either playoff hot predictions or who you have winning the Super Bowl. Wait, Baron, who's gonna win the Super Bowl? He's gonna go with the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
That's his big pick for this year. It's gonna be the Eagles.
Yeah, shocker, right?
I don't know who to pick. I really don't know who to pick. I want to see
who. Oh, I was gonna say I low-key like the Seahawks.
Oh, I like the Rams over the Seahawks. The playoff vibes.
That's fair.
You know what? I'll say it. Give me the Los Angeles Rams. And
you know what? Here's another sleeper. I like the Chicago Bears.
Oh, I don't. That'll be another episode.
Oh, hold on. This is my last. This is my last one though. This might be a guarantee. I don't want to say guarantee, but
guarantee it.
It feels
Charles Barkley.
It feels almost like it's a guarantee. This year's Super Bowl winner will be an NFC team.
That'll be another episode. Nothing agreed. Thank you all so much for listening, and peace.